All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Williams. I'm the Director of Education for NPTI Orlando. To my right, you have David Boyer, who is our other instructor here, who is the primary instructor for the group that's graduating today. 4.5 months ago, these young whippersnappers came in, joined our program, and we're thankful and we're grateful that you did. And today you leave as actual fellow colleagues of ours. So you came in as students and you graduate as fitness professionals. So I want to give you a round of applause for sticking with the program and culminating today's graduation. So, we do have a little bit of a presentation to start off with. We're hopefully going to drop a few pearls of wisdom as well. We'll then have our diploma ceremony. That's going to be followed by the person for the highest grade average and the best overall performing student. After which, we will then summarize. After which, we'll then do our 22s for our military vets who commit suicide. And after that, we'll have a prayer. And we will indeed disperse to the field. We'll then do a boot camp. Did you get that? That's today's itinerary. So, without further ado, I do want to go through the very short presentation. Normally, you know, we talk about the word transformation, and indeed, Saccaroni, life transformer. You know, we as personal trainers, we're quite undervalued in terms of what we do. We don't prescribe a pill or anything of that particular nature. We prescribe exercise. For me, exercise has always been the panacea to life, to be perfectly honest, and I'll always see it that way. Because there's nothing negative from exercise. And I'll get into any argument any time, but there is nothing. Okay, there's the addictive nature, but apart from that, there is nothing. Okay? So these whippersnappers, when they came in, all 7, 8, 9 of them, okay, they had their preconceived notions about what exercise was and how you did it and so on and so forth. But I think one of the things that they did well is that they embraced the concepts being taught here. It's so easy to be a teacher when you have people in front of you who are very, very open to embracing what we teach. When you come on board and you have these ideas and you're very, very stubborn and less receptive, it makes that a little bit more difficult. But they were in the gym, doing their thing, having a laugh, and embracing everything that we taught. At the end of the day, when you sign up, at the end of it, you're a businessman or woman. That's essentially the way it goes, because we want to equip you to start your own business. Now, okay, that is health and fitness for life. So I want to thank you for that, because it's not always easy. Like I said, people come on board and they don't want to change. I'm thinking, well, why are you here? You're making the whole process for yourself and everybody else very, 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 very uncomfortable. But that's something personal from me. Definitely, I appreciate that. And I know so did David. I'm going to hand you over to David to say a few words and drop some pearls of wisdom before we do this presentation. David, if we can.
All right. One thing with the education is going to be very vital. This gives identity to your sons, your daughters as a fitness professional. They're not your average Joe Dirt coming off the street going into an industry that is starting to develop and hold a higher standard. So with this, your kids have actually created a foundation that's going to benefit them as a person and as a professional. And from here, the sky's the limit. Continuing education is always going to be part of the process. Even as they've obtained things here, they will continuously seek more and more knowledge and become a better personal trainer, and even a better person.
Great. Hit that light switch for me there. Thank you. All right, so let's have a little look. Unfortunately, we don't have many transformation photographs. Now, the word transformation, Saccaroni just laughed. But you know what? You come here and you learn an abundance of knowledge. You might decide to leave here and be a personal trainer, or you might give all that information to your loved ones. Either way, it's a win-win situation. That's how we look at it. Our students came here and they transformed in many ways beyond just the physical or beyond the emotional and psychological. There's so many different ways to transform, and that's indeed hopefully what you'll see from some of these transformation pictures in a bit. However, I did want to say this, and my sincere apologies, but I want to thank you families for the support. I look around class today and we have so many people in here, and that's a wonderful thing. It clearly means that my fellow graduates is well loved, but they also have the infrastructure of support, and you need support in life, no matter what you do. When you embark on a different behavior pattern, you need to have an infrastructure of support. It could be your immediate family, your loved ones, external, whatever, friends, but you need it. So thank you for indeed giving them this, your support over the last 4.5 months. And they learned a lot. Our course is 600 hours. It's an accredited school, as you know. I have 382 hours of theory and 218 hours of practical. Now, David took over about 2 weeks ago, so this would have been his portion. I'm actually next door for the most part. I drop in now and again, but I actually delivered the advanced diploma in personal training. So it's quite comprehensive, that 600 hours. They're on campus for 6 hours and 45 minutes a day, which means it's full-time education for 4.5 months. Oops. Bit of an anticlimax there. Oh dear. This is this cable again? This happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. That license from me, David. I thought it was me and my big fingers. Yeah, okay. You're laughing, Brandon. Can I have your help down here? Not yet. No, we have nothing yet. Now we do. Okay, so I'll be very, very gentle with this time. Okay, there it goes. So the theory aspect is very, very comprehensive. I think one of the things people are saying, well, who are you affiliated with, David and Chris, in terms of your teaching resources? We're affiliated with nobody. We're a standalone entity. So we draw from our curriculum draws from the best of the available research and literature, current contemporary literature across the fields, the American College of Sports Medicine, National Strength and Conditioning Association, from NASM, and of course we have our own MPTI textbooks. And then you have an abundance of experience with both you, the students, and us, the instructors. So things such as anatomy, physiology, screenings, which are important, screening and assessments, that's how you generate business for yourself, because you can identify movement patterns that are somewhat dysfunctional in a client, and you can hopefully correct those. In addition, you can assess people if they're overly fat in terms of it leading to metabolic diseases such as diabetes or heart disease or circulatory disorders. And people might not be aware that their body fat is that particular high, and might be totally oblivious to the fact that they're actually quite susceptible to these diseases. And we are dealing as personal trainers today with about 90 to 95% of people who are special populations in one way, shape or form, whether it's orthopedic, disease, emotional, but yes, we have a high percentage of people that are not well. So we have to be able to facilitate our curriculum to cover all those spectrums. Obviously nutrition and supplementation is a big thing. We had potluck yesterday. Everybody bought vegan food and healthy food, which is nice to see. The flan was my favorite, by the way. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much.
Big fan.
I saw that nobody touched my homemade, what did I make? That pie, that key lime pie, nobody touched that. Anyway, Publix made it specially for me. And then of course we did business, you know, how to set up your LLC. We looked at a little bit at the interviewing techniques and things of that particular nature, writing a resume. All these things are very, very important. How to approach the process of finding equipment, resourcing equipment on a limited budget and going from there. Corrective exercise, which is a bit of a buzzword in our industry at the minute, but we love the old corrective exercise. Okay, we're saying that we can take you've got lower back pain, but once we look at you and we assess you, we can then say, hey, we have these muscles that are overactive, these muscles that are underactive, and as a consequence, we can do the necessary exercises, screening, and corrective exercises to eliminate your pain. When you are in a position to reduce pain and it doesn't involve forms of opioids and hardcore drugs, that's a serious incentive that you have leaving today, so please use that. Endocrinology, the study of hormones, we now know that's integral to the human body. How you feel and how you perform is directly related to your nerves and your hormones, hence neuroendocrinology is a vital field. We now know how to increase our testosterone levels. Ladies, you might not want to do that necessarily, but for the guys, yes you can. Program design, the bread and butter of what we do is exercise prescription. So program design for all all demographics, all populations is imperative. Plyometrics, jumping to enhance power. And I did put this here. I don't know if you, being a Liverpool fan, I've been a Liverpool fan for the last 48 years. If you follow British soccer, English soccer. And that's why most of them are graduating today, actually. Okay. We also did bioenergetics. You heard about metcons, and people go metcons this, metcons that. But essentially what we're looking at in bioenergetics is this, is that the food that you eat, it goes into your mouth, you enjoy the process, it's fantastic. It goes down and nobody remembers anything thereafter. But what we tend to do here is we say the food that you eat, your macronutrients, gets converted into something called adenosine triphosphate for your muscles to contract. So our students now know the energy pathways of conversion by which that happens. So it's a little bit more in depth. If you look at on the board here, what you essentially have is pretty much a 4.5-month course. But if you went to university, it'll probably take about 3 or 4 years to do. So it's very condensed. So my hat's off to you for that. Biomechanics, we now know the difference between a first, second, and third class lever, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? Yes? Macro and microphysiology of muscle, we now know that actin and myosin is actually 2 myofilaments in the muscle, and not 2 roads that's linking Orlando and Tampa, so that's a good thing. Special populations, oh my goodness. Where do you start and where do you stop? It seems every time I look at my TV, I was watching TV last night, and they had a prescription for TED. And my 5-year-old daughter goes, "What is TED?" It's thyroid eye disease. It's like, this wasn't here 5 or 10 years ago. It just seems to be it. So, when does it stop? So, we have to make sure that our students are equipped for every population that they come into contact with. Okay, and obviously business and legal, knowing your scope of practice. I mean, people come up to us and says, "Chris, I have a bad knee, what should I do?" And my reply is, well, how long is a piece of string? And what people are looking for is definitive answers. We can't. We are not clinicians. We cannot look inside the knee, say we have x-ray, and tell you what's wrong. Unless someone has had a clinical diagnosis of what's wrong, we as personal trainers can't do anything. But yet people will expect us, "Oh, I got a bad shoulder, Chris. What is it?" There goes, "Oh, it's the rotator cuffs." Well, there's 4 of them. Which one is it? I mean, we need to know the specifics of it all. That's the crux of the story in that regard. Okay. Oops. There you go. Take us through the practical.
All right, contemporary training styles. There are many different types of training styles. The fact is there's not a cookie cutter that will universally work for every given person. So the students have learned several different techniques, modalities, intensities, types, times, things that would be relatable when they get into the field. Training one-on-one, generalization of the bulk of personal trainers are one-on-one, but it's not exclusively one-to-one. So they do both learn one-on-one, two-on-one, group on-one. So the fact is, how you train is going to vary according to the size of your group. Fitness assessments. Fitness assessments are going to be important because the fact is you do need to see that you have a healthy person, that they're going to be suitable for exercise. As we talked about special populations, not everybody's ready. Some people do require doctor clearances. This removes a lot of liability from your sons or daughters as a personal trainer. Corrective exercise and perfecting form, very important. If you're not functioning right, what good is it going to be to enlarge a muscle to actually support any type of dysfunction? It starts to complicate, makes people a little bit more prone to injury. So with corrections, we want to correct a body first, and that people realize I can't get into the meat of the programming if I don't have an operating body in front of me. Goal planning and periodization. The fact is, with this, there are different steps or different phases of development. They learn how to go through these different phases. That way you're incorporating everything with a good foundation and you're building upwards. We don't start with a roof when we build a house, we start with the floor. Teamwork in and out of the gym. At the end of the day, we're going to be trainers. We compete with one another, but we're also on a team with one another. So the fact is, we've talked to them about special niches. Just because you excel at something doesn't mean that you're going to be great at everything. Being able to relate to everybody else in the industry, referring to other people, absorbing information from other people, it's just like everything in life. You got to pull from everybody else's strength to make you a better person. Time management. You're going to have people of various types, times, durations. It teaches them flexibility. Advanced training systems are people who are going to be a little bit more sound of mind, body, and soul. They may find that going through the OPT model for NASM isn't going to be fully necessary in some aspects. These could be people who have better developments. It makes preparation for a higher level of training with their clienteles. SMR and PNF, stretching. Stretching is something that's typically overlooked. For those who don't know, SMR, self-myofascial release, foam rolling. It can also be done through the forms of stretching. PNF is a style of stretching, typically a little bit more therapeutic. Your sons and daughters can give you details, examples, but there's things that you get out of just your dynamic and static forms of stretching. Functional movement skills, when we look at how somebody walks, how somebody stands, you're kind of making an assessment of what needs to be corrected. I can stand before you, look fine. The second I go into action, you can see the kinks in my armor. This is what your students have learned with their bodies. It's what they've also learned how to find in other people's bodies. Special populations program, design boot camps, like I said, kind of a variety of different programming, different size classrooms so you have a better understanding. Stress reduction and mindfulness. People go to the gym. You got to realize that for some people it's therapeutic. The release of endorphins, and sometimes just being able to communicate and vent to your trainer, it ends up being just as beneficial, mentally as it is physically. Modifications and enhancement for exercise. Not everybody's going to have the ability to do what is structured. We've taught your kids how to adjust on the fly, how to modify down. Sometimes you even find that sometimes you may have to modify up. So there's always progressions and regressions. All right, neurogenesis, neurological systems, adaptation, how to get new stimulus, how to override, how to recruit. It makes the body more functional. Static and translational assessments, once again, are you moving, are you standing, kind of learning how to assess a body. Interpersonal communication, learning how to talk to somebody one-on-one. A lot of times when we're young, we haven't developed this maturation. So when you're engaging, you learn what to say, how to say it, and not to over-speak or speak down to your clientele. Because if you do, it's going to be a very difficult industry to be in. Cardio. As simple as it sounds, everybody thinks it's just get on the treadmill, let's go. Different intensity, different types. Some will work well with certain populations. The question is it standing, is it sitting? With the variety of populations, your students have learned how to implement the correct forms of cardio to the right population. Flexibility and modality. Flexibility, like I was kind of talking with the SMR and PNF, kind of checking, making sure you have full range of motion, full functionality, and functionality kind of relates into mobility. And the last but not least, adult CPR or AED, just knowing what CPR is, how to come in if an emergency arises, that your children are prepared medically to provide it if called for.
Thanks, Dave. So here we go. Here is a few transformations. I said to the students, listen, if you want me to post your transformations, by all means do so. Do before and after shots. So we do have some, okay? Here we go. Yeah. I think that's Avery before.
That's before?
Yeah, that's it. toes here.
I want you to change.
Toes down. There we go. That's it.
Nice.
That's also before. Yeah. Now let's see what happens.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Quite a lot of arm workout while he was here.
Say that to my night.
Yeah.
People hunting and working out.
And the tan.
Looks like I'm wearing a white tee.
Oh yeah. That's well done, mate. Well done.
I got so.
Is it? Okay. Side and back. So here's the thing about Zeke, is that he weighs the same, but his composition is different. Hence, why do we use a scale? I'm 300 pounds and 40% body fat. David is 300 pounds and 16% body fat. The scale is going to tell both of us we're 300 pounds. Yet he's healthy and I'm not. Okay. Oops, and here's one of myself. Screensaver? So, good spotting technique. You look at this picture, and for the untrained eye, you think, oh, what's going on here? But you can tell by his right there that he is motivated and he is ready for action. So, you know, is that...
That's Avery.
Is that you again, Avery? Yeah. This is the Avery show. He is ready for action. He's motivating, and if he was to just dip this way, he's ready to collect. So that's a good spot right there, in my opinion. It really is. Well done. Here we go. Look at that spot technique again. Safe right there. Good job, Paul. Well done. And Zeke for pushing nearly 4 plates. Wow. Nice job. Nice. And yesterday here was evidence that we all went vegan. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, lastly, congratulations on your graduation. I'm not really into the quotes and things, but I always say when you leave here, sorry Dave, can you get that light switch for me? Thank you, brother. I always say when you leave here, I want you to go out and monopolize. Monopolize actually means to take over. There's nobody in my opinion who can actually compare with you in terms of what you know and what you do. So I want you to have the confidence, the self-confidence, and confidence to go out there and actually deliver the goods. And if you don't, you need to question yourselves. What's my work ethic like? Because if you have everything that you need at your fingertips in terms of resources, you have us, you have your books, you have your fellow colleagues, you have your family, then why aren't you successful? Okay, and I'm not saying I'm trying to put pressure on you, but I'm saying, well, listen, if you've got something that's so damn good, why are you not fully using it? And you need to. Because you're going to do a lot of good out there and you're going to help a lot of people. When you get that first card given to you by Hilda and Harry and said, you know what, you saved my marriage, you saved my life, you rescued my kids. You may not realize the magnitude of what you are doing until years later. You know, I started teaching in high school, oh my goodness, 30-something years ago. And just lately, I received an email from a girl called Nicola Essex, who I taught in high school. I thought, oh boy, here we go. What did my big mouth say now? She goes, Mr. Williams, she still called me Mr. Williams, she's married with her own kids. She goes, I still live by the words that you told me in high school. And I'm thinking, oh dear, what was that? What was that? And she said, I can remember we had an athletics day, and we couldn't find a fourth member of a 4x100 meter relay team. And she said, you asked everybody and nobody wanted to run. So she said, you turned to me, he says, Nicola, can you just fill that spot and then do your best? And she goes, I did, and we won. And she goes, that's the same thing that I tell my kids nowadays. Just go out and do your best. That's all you can ask for, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear lots of good stories. I want you to come back here and stand up here. You know how it works. The minute you set foot through the school, you have to do a speech of sort. It could be a good experience, a bad experience. Nonetheless, it will be transparent and it will be invaluable to the people that's sitting in class. I can assure you. So don't be strangers, please. David and I are always here as a resource for you. Okay? Unfortunately, you're stuck with us for the rest of your life. Okay, so utilize us whenever you need us, please. Okay? But hearty congratulations on making it through 4.5 months at NPTI Orlando. Well done. So, diploma time. In your files, you'll have your diplomas. You'll have, if you have osteoblast, speed blast, or kettlebell, any of those, you'll have your CPR, and you'll also have your transcripts. Please don't lose your CPR. It's invaluable for your employment. Okay? So let's begin. Here we go. That's a big round of applause, please. First person up, Jared. Oh, is that how it's done now? And there's me thinking I was lit. Yes. And Dave? No limits? Appreciate it. Thank you. Marvin? Hey, Marvin. Well done, brother. David? Jojo? Hey. Well, young lady, God bless you. Thor? Sir. Wine style. Wonderful. All right, nice job, brother. Ezekiel. You're very welcome, brother. Appreciate it. You're very welcome.
Nice job, Zeke.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
And Avery.
All right, nice job, Otto.
Thank you. So, on the very, very first day, first week, we try to incentivize our students. We say, listen, we're going to give you a couple of prizes at the end for the best, highest, the overall highest grade, but also for the best overall performance student. So we had a thought. Obviously, when it comes to your GPA, you know, that's a quantifiable, objective thing. So the person with the highest overall grade average with a 94.8, that's a combination of both theory and practical, goes to Thor.
All right, what is this? Sweet.
It's organic steroids.
Thank you.
And then we sat down and had a bit of a natter, a bit of a chat.
Thank you.
So, you know, it's so many things that goes into making a good humanitarian, isn't it? Mm-hmm. If you think about all the different values and ethics and morals and principles that people have, but we thought that this person was well deserving because they were an amazing student, also with an A grade, a mother, there you go, a wife, a baker, the best flan maker on planet Earth, flan, excuse me, okay. So Jojo, you are well deserving. So I guess for the group that's graduating next, you know if you make food, I'm just joking. So ladies and gentlemen, to summarize, family and friends, thank you for coming today. Absolutely wonderful to see all such smiling faces and such support. The support system that you graduates have seems to be amazing. Well done. Love those that love you dearly, hey? To my fellow colleagues, that is you, indeed, 7 that's leaving today, Saccaroni, my sincere apologies. This is how my mind works right now. There's somebody, I need to go back and I will recap, but there's somebody so very special that's been with me for 8 months. Zaccaroni at the back here. He traveled through the program doing the undergraduate and then the postgraduate in terms of the advanced diploma. So we've been together for 8 months. I said to the class, sis, the other day, in 13 years of me being here, I haven't had anybody who is an athlete, no disrespect to anybody else, who is as strong but also as aerobically fit. It's very, very difficult to be both. You're either strong or you're aerobically fit. To have the combination of both is extraordinary. It really is. And my friend and my fellow colleague, thank you, and my sincere apologies for overlooking. How the hell did I do that? After you gave me a beautiful shirt yesterday with a burger on it. So I want you to come down here and receive this because you've earned every bit of it. Again. You gotta take a picture, little brother.
You don't get pictures of me. One there, then
Yeah, that's it. Zoom in.
I got it.
Come in this.
Move away from the light.
Move on to my head.
Yeah, 'cause
It's shining on my head, isn't it? You can say it.
This one, let me jump back.
yeah.
Good job. Well done.
Yay!
Gonna miss this one, I'm telling you. It's my training partner in the afternoon. Okay? But sorry, my sincere apologies. What an oversight. It's ridiculous. No, it's not. It really isn't. That's what happens when you get my age. I'm 73 next birthday. Brain cells the size of an amoeba, I can tell you. But anyway, so yes, all of you, Zach and my our graduating groups, make sure that you go out there and you implement what you've learned, please. Stay humble with the process. You've got something that's extraordinary, you really have, in terms of this education. But please stay humble, have a great work ethic that's wholeheartedly committed, okay? And spread the word. You're gonna have days whereby you feel, my goodness, why am I getting no phone calls? Stick with the process. People just don't drop at your feet. If you have something so very special, you gotta let people know you have something that's special. You cannot just walk around with the personal training t-shirt on and people drop at your feet because, oh, it doesn't work that way. People are spending their hard-earned money on you, and they want to know that you are in a position to deliver the goods. Okay, so tell people and let people know. Drop these little nuggets, these little gold nuggets to people. You might be seeing somebody in public and say, oh, you're a personal trainer. Because yes, so what can you do for me? Well, it depends on your goals and objectives. You know, here's my business card and have a little chat. There's no harm in doing that. It all starts with communication, isn't it? To be charismatic, I always say in our job, you know, David and my job, I go by the 2 E's, to educate and to entertain. Those are the 2 E's that Chris Williams abide by every single day. Because I know what it's like to be sitting in those seats for 4 hours every day. And if you weren't educated and you weren't somewhat entertained, I tell you, you'd fall asleep and you just want to leave here in a heartbeat. So thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for graduating well. Thank you for being a wonderful group. There were some ups and downs, but for the most part, it has been wonderful. It's been a wonderful journey. I wish I could have spent more time with you all, okay? But nonetheless, we got you through. And today, we're going to let you go as fellow colleagues of ours, blessed by God Almighty that you will be successful in your endeavors. Amen. Okay? Amen. Thank you.
I bet you read book.
There we go. Listen up, listen up. Zaccaroni's on call, yep?
All right, ready? Down, up, 1, down, up, 2, down.
Fish, I saw it from
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Marvin's going to lead us in a nice prayer. Okay. If you care to join in, by all means do so. Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father and God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this moment that we're in right now. We thank you for just covering us and watching over us as we went through this 4+ months. We ask, oh Lord, that you'll continue to watch over MPTI, its instructors, the fellow students who are still working on the program. We just so grateful because it wasn't easy, but you gave us the strength to make it through. We ask, oh Lord, that you just continue to guide us, strengthen us, that we'll see everything with your eyes, hear with your ears, speak with your tongue, and love with your heart. We thank you and we praise you. Amen.
Amen. Nice job. Student rep, Avery, bring it in.
Avery.
There we go. One last time.
One last one. MPTI 3, MPTI 3, 1, 2, 3.
Thanks for following MPTI Florida. I'm Pat Sherman. Just want to let you know we appreciate you guys liking us, following us, and friending us. Continue to watch our YouTube channel. We're going to try to do a really good job of giving you as much information about the fitness industry as possible this year. If you're looking to become a personal trainer, you're excited about helping other people become healthy, give us a call, 407-772-0057. That's 407-772-0057. Give us a call, come on in, tour, work out for free anytime. Thanks again.